Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, welcome back to Punch Drunk Nerd, your weekly podcast where us three friends, me, Luis Gonzalez, and
Miguel Sanchez.
And Ed
that's
Wolf.
right, stumbling our way to talk about nerd shit. And this week we are coming out of the heels of the Super Bowl, which has been packed and filled and to the brim with movie trailers. Listen, if I'm feeling a little slow, a little sheeblish, I'm a little sick, but it's okay. We're going to get through this. The show must go on. Like I said, we're going to talk about the Super Bowl trailers, and then we're also going to talk about The Last of Us. We're having a little bit of a mid-season review, and then we're going to wrap it all up with what we're into. Mini, Miny, Mo. Bing, bang, boom. So let's start off with Bing, which is the Super Bowl commercial trailers. All right, guys, let's just get to it. Batman, right?
Oof, the Flash trailer. All right.
I was going to say, there's a Batman movie coming
That's
out?
right.
I thought
It's
it
called
was
The
just Flash.
It's got two Batmen in it. It's got our boy Michael Keaton saying those dastardly words, "I'm Batman." And how
I'm
beautifully
Batman.
said it was, too. You know, sometimes when people come back and doing their characters again, it's a little cringe. No cringe here. Inspired. Nostalgia. Goosebumps. I've rewatched it so many times. Absolutely. I couldn't believe my eyes. I wasn't this excited for a trailer in such a long time. It was an exciting moment, and I'm excited for what the DC has to offer. I'm glad that they didn't can this movie, because this is what I wanted from DC all along. You know, there you go. Those are my thoughts. I'm ready for it. I'm here for it. Take my money. I'm going to see it IMAX and Dolby. Pass it along.
What do you think about everything else, like, i.e. the main character and Supergirl?
I love it all. I love it all. I think I was taken in with everything, and it's such a emotional story about Barry wanting to go back and save his mom from dying that it's going to obviously affect him in such a big way, and your actions has consequences for the rest of the world, and so him having to cope with that is going to be really cool to see, and just seeing, you know, all of these heroes come together. That isn't a Justice League movie. This is just a Flash movie, kind of like what Marvel does, where they cross over all of these characters and they have an event. And Flashpoint does that. You know, Flashpoint went even to have Wonder Woman fighting the people from Aquaman. You know what I mean? They had a whole tirade going on in the Flashpoint comic. We're not getting that, obviously, because that'd be too much. But they did have Superman. They replaced Superman with Supergirl in this one. And it wasn't Bruce Wayne, it was Thomas Wayne. His dad becomes Batman after his son Bruce dies, and he uses a gun and he kills. So this is a little bit different, but it follows the same, you know, story, or the bones, the meat of Flashpoint, the spirit of Flashpoint, and I'm here for it. You know, this is something that, you know, Flash is one of the big DC characters that we haven't seen a lot of. Obviously, we know Batman and Superman, but the Flash is pretty big. I mean, we don't have a speedster that's more well-renowned than the Flash, okay? The man has saved the DC universe multiple times.
Sure, what's that girl from the Eternals, Ed? She's fast.
That's true. And then you also have Quicksilver,
but if you're going to tell me the number one speedster out there, who's it going to be?
I guess most audiences, right? You would say the Flash.
Might say the Flash.
Yes, exactly.
What was her name from Eternals, though? I'm going to start saying her.
See, you
the
don't
deaf
even know
girl
her
from
name.
Eternals.
I know, it's been a second. Hang on.
See, you don't even know. Okay, see, the Flash is definitely bigger than her.
All right. That's
That's
fair.
true.
Fair enough.
Okay.
There you go. So,
A couple of really cool shots.
I'm going to drink my
I
beer.
blabbed about
I really
the Flash.
liked
Go for it.
I really liked that one shot where I guess it's like young Flash is running out of the house and you see the sky in the background change. You know what I mean? I think that's a cool way to show like how the timelines are changing or merging or whatever without it being like this big over the top thing. Like it's just like things change. I don't know. I thought it looked really cool.
There's a lot of cool visuals and like framing and fun things that are doing. Just like with the way that the Flash is running upside down, that moment, the awesome moment when the lightning goes through both of the
berries.
Berries, and the reveal of Supergirl. You know what I mean? Batman diving down. I'm excited to see this Michael Keaton Batman in action, even though a lot of it's going to be CGI. I'm fine with that.
It's what do we think? You like that idea?
I mean, you know what? I'm here to see that Batman move a little bit more aggressively than what I've seen him before. I don't mind it. When he was doing the dive and taking out bad guys, I was chills. And you know what?
I don't know how.
the Supergirl, like some visual effects aren't perfect yet. Like when he's slow punching, I understand it's not done yet. Okay, I get it. And hopefully it's better. But at this point, I don't give a fuck. I'm here for it.
That's interesting because I was kind of reversed. I kind of didn't like the one where he dived down, and I was kind of okay with him punching slow. I was like, okay, I can kind of, because to me, it's like Keaton's Batman was always so stiff.
I know.
You know what I mean? Because of like the suit. And it's like to see him be so flexible, I'm like, oh, he's really figured it out over the last however many decades. You know what I mean? I don't know.
This just hit me to the core. Like I've never been so excited. You know what I mean? I've never been so excited. Wow. I can't wait for it. I've been thinking about this trailer. I did, I think, I don't know what else to say. I mean, I could keep going. I have a prediction. I think that maybe go for it. Please talk.
Before predictions, I was going to say I really liked Ben Affleck coming back as Bruce Wayne. I thought his delivery of that line where he's like, or you might destroy everything, whatever. I was like, man, that feels like that Batman versus Superman.
That's what I mean.
Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, it seems like he's like maybe slightly more like, okay, I'm back into it. I'm going to do this. Maybe this is the last time he's gonna, which I assume, right? I don't know. It's like, I'm kind of hoping for like a last hoorah with Ben Affleck as well. And it looks like he's got a few action scenes in this one too, or at least one big one.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, let's send you off. I'm okay with that.
Ed, this is the part where you talk in the podcast.
Her name was Makari, by the way.
Oh, shout out. Makari. That's my girl.
It's actually like my favorite character.
Your favorite character. So. You don't remember the name, though.
Yeah, it's been a long day, you know what I mean?
We're going to have to dissect that thought later. You know what I mean? Is the Eternals all that good? You couldn't even remember your favorite character's name.
Oh. To be fair, it's not like she's shouting it out throughout the whole movie.
I'm a carry.
But Gary. I mean, if anything, at this point, I'm super excited for you, Luis.
Oh, okay, so you didn't like the trailer, basically, is what you're saying.
No, I like the trailer fine. I didn't think it was, again, I'm not going to poo-poo it, you know. I was like, okay, that could be cool. I kind of felt along the same lines as Miguel in regards to that one shot that you guys are talking about with Batman. And then a lot of the other stuff was a lot of what, you know, we've come to expect from it. I'm not trying, I really
I know.
What about bringing in...
I tell you what, I had a stronger negative reaction to another trailer we'll be talking about.
Okay, we can talk about that.
No, I was definitely pumped, and of course, like, I mean, I feel like Michael Keaton's going to be awesome. I like the idea of seeing a different, I don't know, outlook on his character from his universe, like more bat suits, more, I don't know, tech, like upgraded suits. So like seeing him move around might be cooler than the usual stuff, but it still has that classic look, which I love.
When the theme played, that was really cool.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, absolutely.
And it plays with that like piano, like a what's it called? Like those little pianos.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, like a harpsichord.
Yeah. Which is totally.
I know what you mean.
Which is in the spirit of like a Tim Burton movie. You know, like Tim Burton would totally use that instrument, and for them to use that to bring in Batman was.
It's not what's his face? Oh my god!
No, Danny
Elfman. Is he doing the score on this one?
I don't know if he is.
Because he did Justice League, right? Or...
I think he did the.
He was shoehorned in.
Let's see, the Flash
Justice League
soundtrack. Oh yeah, that's the TV show. I don't know the answer. I can't quickly answer that question.
Okay, no worries. But anyway, it would be so. Yeah, I mean, you've got all the Ezra Miller weirdness and the fucking I don't know. I just don't. I'm not. Here's the thing. Bottom line, I'm not like a big Flash fan, and that's purely for lack of trying. Like I haven't ever. Obviously, he's not, like you were saying, he's not in a lot of movies.
Right.
I haven't really pursued reading any of the comic books. I haven't seen any of the shows that involved the Flash. So literally my experience with this character is through the DCEU. And that's it. So, you know what? I hope that it blows my expectations out of the water and that I have a good time with it instead of... And let that era of the DCEU end on
this
a high.
This is going to reset it. This is the resetting of the DCEU.
No, I know it's resetting it, but like we're in the same time we're saying goodbye to a certain era, right? Onto the new.
Yes.
I assume
that's a reset.
Well, reset. Yeah. But like, we're not expecting. Like, is anybody expecting to see Ezra Miller or at this point Michael Keaton go beyond this movie?
No. Or, this is like a transitional movie.
For that matter. Right. So in a way, it is really just like, hey, we need to make more movies. We need you guys gone. Like, sorry, it was nice, but James Gunn's in town. So it's just like, it almost seems inconsequential within its own world, in a way. It's like, if I've got to see General Zod again...
I was excited to see. I was like, I didn't know I wanted that until I saw it on screen. I was like, wait, I was in mid-walk, and I was like, what?
Same. I was like, I had no idea.
Where were you walking? Why were you not watching the show?
I was cleaning up the apartment.
The Super Bowl. Right, Super Bowl.
I had no idea Zod was coming back for this.
But
neither did I. It was a surprise.
Yeah.
And you see all those moments. And you see all those moments being replayed. I'm like, wait, what are we doing now? We're going back and replaying those moments, but these people are replaced with other people? I mean, look, obviously this is my number one trailer for the Super Bowl. I put it out there. I think, we'll see if we're going to get a reverse Flash, like that's also this alternate Barry could become. Also another note, Act 1 and 2, fantastic. Act 3, maybe not so much. Okay. I can see it falling with the third act as it tries to like put itself together with all these like complicated, like, mind-bending concepts, and then by the
second act is when we meet Batman.
No, I'm saying the first and second act are going to be very fun, and then the third act is going to be maybe where it doesn't make the landing. That's my prediction.
Okay,
but I'd love for it to land.
Was that your prediction? You were
no, my prediction was that we would get a reverse. We would get reverse Flash by having it being the alternative Barry.
That alternative seems, he's wearing all this yellow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It seems pretty spot on that that's what they're going to do.
Which is really funny because someone made this comment.
It's like inverted.
How the sad moment when Barry's mom dies, it's like very blue. He's wearing blue. Everything's kind of sad. And then the Barry that lives, his life is all orange. It's glowy. He's wearing yellow. But then the yellow is also the color of the reverse Flash. So it could be taking this really happy memory and now he's becoming a villain. You know what I mean? So you can never really change the past. Things always has to be what they are, kind of situation. Because if you do, you create your own villain. Boom, reverse Flash.
Yeah, Ryan Johnson.
Okay, jeez. All right, that's the Flash. I can't wait for it. It took me by surprise, basically what it was. It grabbed me, it shook me, and I'm here. Ed, I'm curious to know what
I'm excited
what trailer were you just
oh god
hated?
Are we going down our ranking? Or,
no, Ed, no. Fuck. Please, dear God.
I mean...
Say ranking one more time.
I do want to... Punch Drunk ranking. The one shout-out that I thought was just hilarious, I don't think any of us are really excited for Transformers Rise of the Beast, but I love that it was basically a Porsche commercial.
What the hell, dude? Yeah, I was
like, they had the Porsche emblem right next to Transformers.
I was shocked
at the end
when I saw that flip, and it was a Porsche logo. I was like, is this really just is this a Porsche commercial?
Commercial, yeah. Like, okay, well, I guess we look forward to some beasts and Porsches and fucking what's that guy who hooked up with Kim Kardashian? Pete Davidson.
Is Pete Davidson in this movie?
He's voicing Mirage.
Oh.
Which is the car they reference in the trailer. Mirage, because he can go invisible.
That's not what.
Oh no, he can project.
He can make duplicates,
multiples of himself,
creating a mirage.
Yeah. So pumped about that. No. Pete Davidson.
Is that the one you were pissed off about? Transformers?
No, nobody was pissed off.
That makes me feel like Ed's really neutral on that, and there's something even more egregious that he's going to say is his least favorite.
Yeah, Fast X looks like garbage.
Oh, is that what you're talking shit about? I'll talk shit. Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's go. Okay.
Let's talk shit.
Okay.
Fast.
Oh my god.
Fast 10.
Let me get a knife so I can lick the blood off of it.
Okay.
Before I get into this.
Oh, buddy. All right. I'm ready to talk about this trailer. Like, I'm honestly,
oh my god.
More than The Flash. I'm excited to see The Flash because I want that movie to be good. Okay. Hang on, Luis.
I can't believe
Luis.
the Batman lovers are more excited to talk about shit on Fast than The Flash.
But it's not a Batman movie though.
But it is a lot
it's
of
a Flash movie.
No, hang on. Before
I'm
I get
going to
attacked,
mark the day, February 15th, 7:29. The boys.
Oh my god.
Against the Batman. Okay.
Let me down.
No. Currently, I have one Batman, and that's Rob Pattinson coming 2025.
Oh god, is it 2025 that's going to happen? I thought it was 24.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, I'm Luis. I am definitely more excited to see The Flash. I am ready to see that movie. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Come on now.
Let's talk about the Fast.
These Fast movies, you know what I mean? The last one, I think I watched the one that came out that was supposed to come out before COVID, and then COVID all fucked it up. Fast 9. I watched the trailer for that one. I mean, like what felt like every day for 3 years. That trailer was so good. It was and so good in a way that it was really bad, but fun. You know what I mean? You remember that song at the end of the trailer? My wife and I still do this to each other. We're like, I can still feel the love. You know what I mean? Like, where he's swinging like Tarzan with his car on the vine. You know what I mean? Like that trailer was epic. I watched that trailer so much. This one let me down so hard.
Okay, I'd love to know that. I actually love to know why. Tell me about it.
It was so.
Yeah, what's the difference?
It was first off so long. Why was it 3+ minutes long? You know what I mean?
It was epic.
And like 90% of the dialogue, stereotypically, you know what I mean? But it was just like family. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my god, say fucking family one more time, dude. Like,
and he does.
Please,
every time,
try to do something different. I don't know, man. I like Jason Momoa. I really don't buy him as this bad guy. I see why he was chosen. You know what I mean? Like the Fast franchise is really like, we want big names. You know what I mean? Like we want star power, and that's gonna rock the screen. Jason Momoa is a phenomenal presence. You know what I mean? I love the guy. I don't necessarily. He looks so silly. To Ed's point, when he stabs that guy and then licks the knife, I was like, "Oh my god, button your shirt." You know what I mean? Just this is too much. And then we're trying to introduce a lot of characters. Like Brie Larson showed up all of a sudden. And I was like, "The fuck is going on?" You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, we're gonna get the classic girl-on-girl fight between Charlize Theron and Michelle Rodriguez.
At least Charlize has been in the last like 3 movies. You're like, okay, I kind of get that she's there. Like, you know what I mean? If you're a big
Academy Award winner, Rita Moreno,
EGOT winner. Excuse me.
Oh, forgive me. She playing Vin Diesel's mother.
Oh God.
And she starts with, look at this beautiful family. She's not Italian.
That's the thing. It's like, how many family members are we going to meet? Oh, my God. Like, legitimate family members, too.
I didn't know he had a kid until I saw this. I was like, oh, he has a kid now?
In the last, like, 2 movies ago, I think, it might have been even longer, you find out that a character from 3 movies ago, him and her got together and had a baby. And
it's not Michelle Rodriguez.
No, but she is like the mother figure to the child, little Brian. You know what I mean? Which is a big eye roll. Well, there's a lot of going on. You see, Michelle Rodriguez was in like this fugue state where she didn't know the family, so she was away from, you know what I mean, the main group. So I guess naturally, Vin Diesel's got to fuck. All right, and. This is what happened. Now we have little Brian. Oh.
And the man doesn't have a single shirt with sleeves.
No. How are you going to get that from? Yeah, when they brought it back to that at the end, I was like, okay, back to the roots. We're doing it. Right.
I guess.
It's like, how many shots did we need where it was like this? You know what I mean?
I think that was pulled from the first Fast and Furious movie when they did that. When they went,
it felt extended though. It was like, this feels a lot. John Cena. The other thing I feel in this trailer, the thing that kind of lets me down is not John Cena. John Cena, again, I like him. He's cool. it just feels as though when you look at his action scenes, it feels very much like The Rock's character would probably have done all of these scenes. But now they're on the outs. So now we have John Cena in here to do all that shit for us. You know what I mean? Like at one
I'm
point,
gonna slam a guy through two
the fucking
floors in a
floors like
building.
he's Batman. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, dude, where the last movie, to me, the trailer, every dumb, ridiculous thing they did was just like, I love this franchise. It's so goofy. It's so over the top. I'm having a good time. This one felt like we're taking ourselves seriously now. And you're like, oh, Christ. You know what I mean? Like, the last movie, we went to space for no reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let's just keep it fun. Let's just keep it, you know what I mean? Rocking.
Well, this is the beginning of the end. They really got to play up the tone of like
two-parter.
The beginning of the end. This is the Infinity War.
This movie
I feel like we saw the whole movie in that 3 minutes.
Yes, Ed, yes. I mean, it was like there was too much given away. I think the movie is going to end, right, with the kid being taken and us going, oh, God, the family, you know?
It might be torn apart. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, the poor family. Fuck me. Yeah, because Jason Statham shows up too. And him and Solo, or Han. Oh,
I was like...
some fucking derivative name.
Oh, man.
Han, they're best buddies again. Oh, you still know how to drive?
Do you know the gist of their storyline, though, Ed?
Yeah, like, Jason Statham was a bad guy, and then they were chasing each other, and they got a car accident, and everybody thought Han was dead.
Yes, Ed.
But then he came back.
He come back.
Yeah.
Ed, I'm impressed.
And then Jason Statham became friends with Hobbs.
Right.
Because his last name is Shaw.
But now he's gone. So, Jason Statham was like, well, listen, guys, I'm here. I'm still here. You know what I mean?
I'm back from Hawaii with The Rock.
You saw Hobbs and Shaw, Ed?
Hell yeah, he did. Tell him, Ed.
It was fucking terrible.
No, say good things.
When a movie couldn't be any longer, this movie made itself longer. Didn't need to be... What was it, 40
Christopher Nolan was taking notes. He was like, you can go? You can go longer? Okay.
Even longer? Oh, okay. What's a way to get The Rock to get in touch with his roots? Oh, well, we'll have a mechanism that takes away the electricity from all the guns that the bad guys use.
That's right.
So that we can attack them with tribal weapons for about 5 minutes.
So in the same vein of me watching Fast 9, the trailer, for like 3 years straight, Ed can tell you, I watched the Hobbs and Shaw trailer 1,000,000 times, dude. That was when, as late in the game as that movie was, and it's a spinoff, that was really when I bought into the Fast franchise. I was like, I dig this shit. It's just like big, over the top, boom, boom, pow. Let's have some fun. You know what I mean? It's like good popcorn movie.
Yes. But no.
I'll say this. I will watch this one. I will watch 10 Part 2, and then I will go back and I will watch all of them. You know what I mean?
You're going to have to, because we will have a Fast ranking, Ed, in this podcast.
A ranking, Ed. You hear that?
A ranking.
You're going to have to rank something. It better
I'm
be
just going to rank it in order. Fast and the Furious. 1. Fast and the Furious 2. Tokyo Drift.
It's actually,
the thing is, there's so many. Each movie has something silly. I will say this: the other reason why I didn't get into Fast and Furious for so long is because, like, from 4 to like 6 or 7, they all kind of look the same. You know what I mean? You really can't. It's hard to pinpoint.
That's when they started like
lines.
Getting the vibe. They started figuring it out. 1 was one thing, then 2 were like, wait, we can do another one, but we don't have Vin Diesel, so how do we do this? And 3 was totally different. 4 was getting there, and then 5, they were like, to the races.
Here we are.
This
is it.
Do you guys have a family? Let's start.
Someone in the writer's room said family, and Vin Diesel said, say that again.
He walked in,
again.
Popped open his Corona, threw it to the side as the cap. Say it again.
He popped his collar. He ripped off his sleeves. Say it again.
I will see all those movies when, I have a clear list of 10 movies that I've recommended to Miguel over the last 16 years.
Oh, here we go.
And he's actually watched them, like The Rings of Power.
Jesus Christ.
That's just 2 episodes of a show. But we'll get to that nearer to its release.
We'll wait. Well, you know what? We'll still have to wait because Fast X comes out this year, and then the sequel to that comes out later. So we'll have plenty of time to catch up on the Fast saga. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, Ed, what's
you want to talk about another saga that we haven't caught up in?
Let's talk about it.
Well, this was another trailer. 6.
Oh,
I think.
Yeah.
Scream 6.
Scream 6. Oh. I thought you were going to say something else.
Scream
but
6?
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
Scream 6.
No, well, let's get rid of the shitty ones first. Scream 6. I haven't been keeping up with the Scream movies. I saw the first one and I'm done.
It was almost off-putting in a way. You know what I mean? I was like, ugh, here we go. But then I was thinking,
they got a copycat killer or something.
Right. But then I was thinking that does feel like a trope of those, like, you know what I mean, like 80s slasher movies. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna keep going, and this time it's someone else's Jason. You know what I mean? It did feel very like of the genre. So I kind of like, okay, I just gotta like let it be. Am I like rushing to see this one? No.
It makes me curious. I mean, it's curious. It seems like they're the first revitalizing. What's the word? Someone reacted to my story.
Revival.
So it's like brought back the life of Scream a little bit with this new cast, this younger cast. It's kind of like brought new life to it. People are vibing with it, and yeah, there have been copycats. I think ever since the first one, right? They've just been copycats the whole time.
Well, yeah, I guess that's technically true, right? That's like a recurring. But this time it's in New York and people get stabbed on the subway.
Right.
Which could be freaky.
So we'll do a ranking of those two. Okay. We'll do a ranking of Screams. Okay.
Screams?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I mean, it was just it was so short. It was like, yeah, okay, cool. I mean, I might dive into whatever. We'll see. What's next?
Wednesday's in it, right? Isn't the girl who plays Wednesday? She's one of the characters. So
Jenna Ortega. Yeah.
Jenna Ortega.
Yeah. Was there any other trailers that you were hyped up on?
I watched the Creed 3 trailer. I will say I think they've released like 3 of them now. Again, this
3 for 3.
This is like the first time I've been like, oh, okay, Creed. Like, I'll kind of watch you. You know what I mean? I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with that franchise, but it's definitely something.
I need to go.
Like John Wick, Creed, Fast and the Furious. Bless you, Ed. Just like any popcorn flick, like action movie, I'm always down to give it a shot. You know what I mean? Let's go.
Yeah.
Anything
the
other than
Oscar-winning
10
Rocky
or so
franchise
movies that
started.
Ed wants me to see. That blows my mind. And he's so like outspoken against this one too, which kind of sucks because it's like the first one Michael B. Jordan is directing.
Well, it's because he got kicked out of the Rocky franchise.
I get it. I get it.
He should have gotten more ownership of the property, and he didn't because what's his name? I forget his name. Oh well,
that producer or whatever.
Yeah, it's Erkman.
Sold it.
Whatever. It doesn't matter.
He's really irking me, man. You know?
I forget his name.
Talk that talk, Ed.
So Creed 3, are you excited? Are you going to see it? You're going to wait till it comes out VOD?
I need to see the second one. I mean...
I need to see it. The second one. These two fit, strapping young men.
Kang versus Killmonger. Yes, please.
Yeah. You're talking about a trailer.
No, I mean, it looks solid. I mean, it's not like a movie I'm opposed to seeing. I just don't know if I'll get around to it. You know what I mean?
That feels
I mean,
like an airplane movie.
This feels like the vibe of all of these trailers. I will say I wasn't really blown away by Super Bowl trailers this year. You know what I mean?
Right.
As far as like movie trailers goes, it felt like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. We're seeing like The Flash was really the biggest one, and the rest were kind of like, all right.
Ooh. I got off on The Flash. 65 was the other movie that I saw more stuff to. And I was like, oh, whoa. You know what?
I'm like I'm a little curious.
Yeah, with
about
Adam Driver there.
I'm ready. 65.
Oh, where he like goes back in time or something, and it's like
65
dinosaurs.
million years ago.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
It's Adam Driver though, bro. Don't you want to see Adam Driver?
It reminds me.
Got
it's
that like ammo countdown on his gun.
It's like Adrian Brody in the Predator movie.
Predator.
You know what I mean? It gives me that same vibe. And also, it feels like a video game. You're right with it, like counting the ammo and everything like that.
That is hilarious that you mentioned that for some reason, but it just reminded me. I wanted to say about Scream. On top of like the rehash of like, oh, it's a copycat killer. There was a shot towards the end of a trailer where it's like Ghostface talking or whatever. Somebody was yelling at him, and he made that like clicking sound that like a predator or
that was weird.
Make. You know what I mean?
I was just like,
oh,
make that sound like that monster Ghostface.
Yeah, I was like
sound. Yeah,
I was just like, no, you talk like this.
Yeah,
you're like a fucking murderer, like not a.
That's a good call out. Maybe
not do these like animalistic names. Yeah, bizarre things going on. Like you had the Porsche and the Transformers, and then the clicking of the ghost face. I don't know, but yeah. Sorry, that just reminded me of that. But yes, 65.
Miguel, is there any trailer that you said your feeling is you were just kind of blasé about everything? Everything felt. It's fine.
Yeah. I felt very just neutral about most of it. And the other thing,
did you get a ranking?
I could do it real quick. I could tell you right now.
I bet you could.
Do you have
I've
a
watched
ranking?
all of these trailers that are listed right here.
Yeah, do you have a ranking?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Well,
just top 5. I literally thought that's what we were doing.
No, yeah. I mean, you want,
but not.
What do you want? Do you want to do that now?
We're talking through them. We're talking through them.
Oh yeah, we're talking through them. Then we'll rank them.
Yeah. Well, another one that popped up, I guess, was Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
I think that's like a fun family
Guardians
film.
Of the Galaxy one. It looks kind of quirky.
It's a fun family quirky film for everybody.
Kind of Game of Thrones mixed with like Avengers. You know what I mean? Like there was a lot of like superhero poses and like there's flashes of blue and green and we're using.
But I think it's going to be like more to a comedic effect.
Yeah,
like Sarah and I were watching A Knight's Tale last night for Valentine's, I guess. But I feel like it's going to be kind of like that kind of tongue-in-cheek humor. Maybe
when you have
like
Chris Pine, you know what I mean?
Like you have contemporary humor in a medieval setting. And obviously everybody's American, so
can I go on just a very quick tangent real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Luis, Ed just said a word. I want to hear you say it just on your own. Medieval. How do you say that?
Don't overthink it.
Hey, do you want to go to medieval times?
Hell yeah. Medieval. That's exactly what I would have said. Ed, you say it?
You said medieval?
Medieval. Yeah, Ed, just you say it.
Yeah.
I know.
Medieval.
What? Say it again?
Medieval.
You always throw like an A in there, like right in the middle. And now I can't say it because now I'm overthinking it too.
Medieval.
Yeah, that's right. It's the E.
Eval.
Yeah.
But it's MEDI EVL. Can't speak English today.
Say aluminum real quick.
Aluminum.
No, I always know when you say medieval, you always say it funny. It's like, okay.
Correct.
You're not of us.
Of us. So yeah, anyway, I think it looks fun. I think like if the reviews come out like positive about the movie, I would see it.
What movie were we talking about? Oh, Dungeons.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah. I think it could be
fun. That could be a good Christmas movie. You know, it came out this year. We never watched it. All right, let's put it on for Christmas. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Mario Brothers.
I guess we know what we're doing next Christmas. Yeah.
Mario Brothers. They showed out that like little plumbing commercial.
Like a commercial.
Yeah.
I remember.
I gotta say, I love that.
I loved it too, and I remember I watched. I had a VHS tape of the Mario Brothers TV show, so I totally knew what was happening, and I got excited to watch Mario Brothers, and then I remembered Chris Pratt's voicing.
Right.
You know, and I was like, wow, this is so fun. This is great. I love everything that's happening, and then
Let me pitch something to you real quick.
Okay.
I get it. I don't want to see Chris Pratt either. I hate Chris Pratt. You know what I mean? On God. You know what I mean? On my dead relatives. Like, fuck Chris Pratt. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah.
Hang on. Come up to Colorado. All right? Let's go see Mario. Let's take my kid. All right? Let's go see Mario. Let's see it through his eyes. Let's have a grand time. Okay?
I'm going to give your boy the stink eye.
the entire time. Just be like, this movie sucks.
Don't you understand? This is how Mario sounds. Listen to his voice. It's Mario. See? It's not Chris Pratt. This isn't Chris Pratt.
Mario.
No, do it. Ed, you come up to bring Lily, all right? We'll do a boys' day with the kids. We'll see Mario, all right?
Hey, you know what? What a good look. They even made it that New Yorker. They gave it that New Yorker Mario, you know?
Hell yeah.
That was good.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun.
I enjoyed it too.
Maybe
Who
it
said I
was
didn't enjoy it?
intentionally a distraction from all the controversy from the casting.
I forgot about Chris Pratt after watching it. I enjoyed it so much.
I was just like, oh, this is fun. This is a cool way to promote a movie. You know, nothing to do with the actual.
This is what I was going to do. So there was a number on that commercial to call, and I wanted to call it real quick. It's 929-55 Mario. So I'm going to call that number now. 929-55 627 4.
It's $1 a second.
Thank you for calling Super Mario Brothers Plumbing. It's me, Luigi. If you need service, please text us at the same number you just called. 929-55 Mario. That's 929-556-2746. Message us about any issues wherever you live. House, condo, mansion? And we'll be sure to text you back right away, because at Super Mario Brothers Plumbing, we don't say let's wait. We say let's go. Oh, and check our website, smbplumbing.com. We're still working on it, so more updates to come. Bye-bye.
Love it.
I love it. Charlie Day.
I'm low-key looking forward to him. I think I said this last time, but on the last trailer where Bowser is like holding his mustache hostage with like one little hair.
Yeah.
Every single line he delivers in that scene, I'm cracking up, dude. I cannot wait to see that movie. Which makes me think it does not matter if I maybe don't love Chris Pratt's casting. I'm gonna be in it.
Me too,
because that's clearly just Charlie Day.
He's having a good time.
But Charlie Day, but Charlie Day and Jack Black are having a ball. You know what I mean? And you can feel it.
Tell me they're not.
But you're telling me that the protagonist,
cast.
the person I'm supposed to stand with the whole time, the titular character, is going to bring me on this journey with his boring ass voice.
But he might.
He might. Okay. We're not about the Flash. We're about our Chris Pratt's voice. I'm about to start a fight. PDN 3. Follow up to Creed 3.
We're lucky that we're in 3 different time zones right now. Because now we don't have to be face to face feeling Luis's wrath.
Yeah.
Can I say
talking about?
Go ahead, Ed. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to take it back to the Flash for a second. Can I say there was only one shot in that trailer that I didn't love. You guys noticed I made our group chat photo, that picture of Keaton's Batman. Like, it's the shot where it's like coming up from under him, and then he holds his hand up. And then
you didn't like that?
Hang on, shut up. When he puts his hand down, the Supergirl's there.
I was wondering.
Right before that shot, it's just underneath him where you're looking up and you're kind of getting this double chin thing. You know what I mean? But the thing that threw me off the most, and I cannot stop fixating on, is you see his nose, and it's clearly like smushed from the Batman mask, and it's like it's got this like weird bulbous like round look underneath this like pointy nose. And I sat there for like 10 minutes looking at that, going, I don't love that. It was just such a weird shot. Like, I get the movement of it to lead up to, Supergirl's in the air, and I get like that's what we're looking at. But it was a bit silly in my eyes.
No, I have to look it up. I did not catch that at all. But okay.
I'll tell you this: when I watched it with my kid goes, "That's Batman," and I was like, "That's my Batman." You know what I mean? Oh shit!
Oh, all right, Denzel. Yeah, Luis, I'm not like bumming on the Flash. I'm just not excited as you are.
I know,
and I love you for it.
But I'm excited about Mario Brothers too. I'm excited about everything about Mario Brothers except for Mario. So then we got.
I'm not even excited about Mario Brothers. I just thought that was a tactfully done commercial.
Good. It was very good.
I appreciate that.
You're not like
instead of just like flashes of the movie.
I am excited about Mario.
It was just like that.
I heard Miguel's point.
I'm excited to see it too.
I will watch it the first weekend it comes out.
Ed, this is about to
think
be
the animation
this is about
looks
to
great.
be my son's hook. You know what I mean? You're about to tell me you're not excited about Super Mario Brothers? Do you understand what I just said? My son is going to see this movie and he's going to go, "That's my hook." You know what I mean? In his heart.
No, that's what he'll think. He'll make that connection.
In his heart, he'll say that.
He's
You
gonna
know
have
what I
a
mean? He won't say
tattoo
the
of
words, he'll say
Mario on
it.
his
Hell yeah.
arm.
He'll have the mushroom right here.
There you go. Great. Princess Peach.
We also have
Tatted.
another Chris Pratt jam, Guardians of the
I
Galaxy.
know, I had a perfect segue.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I had the perfect segue for it. No, not for you. From Miguel interrupted it. Miguel ruined it, not you. But yes. Speaking of Chris Pratt ruining things, let's talk about Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Hey.
It's a me, Star-Lord. I hadn't seen. They've only released that one trailer, right?
Yeah.
That main trailer. This is like the second full trailer. Yeah. I was very moved with this one, actually. Sign me up. I would like. I thought it looks very compelling. I feel like we're gonna lose some people. I don't think it will be Rocket. I feel like it's gonna be Drax and maybe Star-Lord
will for sure die. I think the raccoon. Rocket, I think he may be a fake out. You know what I mean?
The raccoon.
I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry.
You piece of shit.
Okay, tell me no.
He's a rabbit.
Tell me your favorite character from the Eternals, Ed. So I think that might be a bit of a fake out. Like they're very heavy handed with like, but then also they might just be like, hey, get ready, Rocket's gonna die. You know what I mean? It's probably that space dog Cosmo. He's gonna die.
No, I don't think Cosmo's going to die.
No, I don't think he's
fucking around, you guys. I loved y'all's emotional response to that. No, the dog.
He's just like an innocent bystander.
Fuck that dumbass raccoon that we've been following for 3 movies plus.
Not the dog.
No, he's a bit of a dick. He is a bit of a dick.
Yeah, but he's fun. He's fun.
Oh, yeah. But no, I thought it looks good.
Yeah,
looks good. I'm ready to. I'm kind of excited for. To see what Adam Warlock looks like, but I'm starting to feel also that if they're going to have similarly to Volume 2, which was my problem with Volume 2, is just like they got 2 antagonists going on, and the whole like wherever Adam Warlock comes from. Where do you guys know that the Golden People?
Yeah, old people, yeah.
They were kind of just like they had Elizabeth Debicki, and they barely used her. They just kind of shrugged that off.
Oh, man.
And then, it was all ego. And I wonder if that's going to be a similar thing. Like, is Adam Warlock just going to be a driving force behind them, and then they're fighting with this Rocket's creator or whatever he might be?
I get a similar feeling to your point of, like, Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. How, like, Bane was the bad guy.
Right.
But then, it's actually... Although we know that this other guy.
Well, I don't think they're working together, but it's definitely more of. And they're obviously not pretending one of them is a good guy.
Who's the bigger bad guy? You know what I mean?
Right.
Luis, maybe you'll be the one to tell us. Does Adam Warlock become a good guy, like in the comics? Is he like kind of like, or like one of a whatever?
Yeah,
anti-hero.
Man, I don't know.
Like Namor.
I think I've seen him in being like a hero in some stories. I don't know historically or like his whole arc as a character, but I have seen him play as
I kind of get the sense that he's
I can see him
enough.
becoming like a guardian.
Yeah,
Oh.
He's okay. I mean, that's a big role to fill. I think they would totally keep him around.
It's big enough. Yeah.
In the Marvel universe.
Like, you don't think this will be a one and done?
No, I feel like
the other guy one and done.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy stick around.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's interesting because the other guy who is also in Peacemaker, he has all these creations, and Adam Warlock is a creation of those golden people. So maybe there's some sort of like, I don't know, thing.
For me, I'm like, the big bad guy right now is Kang. He's definitely sticking around. To me, every bad guy in any like non-Kang Dynasty Saga, whatever movie, is really just like here for the moment and going to be gone. You know what I mean?
I tell you who's not going to be gone is going to be Doctor Doom when he comes on board for Fantastic Four.
I cannot wait. Who added this photo just now? Who did this?
Me, I did. So I think that's really just the cut of the nose, and it just looks weird looking up at
No,
it.
and that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying
Michael
obviously.
Keaton-
I'm not talking about Michael Keaton's actual face. I get that it's
No, I know,
it's the
I know,
mask
yeah.
doing this.
Well, I just don't think it looks
Luis, do
smushed.
your
I think
finger
Michael
like
Keaton
this.
has like a button nose.
So for the listeners at home, Ed just dropped the photo of Batman, Michael Keaton's Batman, from like underneath his nose. We'll put this on the podcast so you can see it, or on Spotify where you can also see the video podcast. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
It just looks. We're. This is a tangent. I don't want to go off on this right now. I'm sorry, but it just looked a little silly to me. That's all I'm saying. But I loved the movement of the shot when he revealed that Supergirl was, you know what I mean, right behind him. I liked that. Done. I'm out. Thanks,
So
guys.
Guardians, yes, there's, and then I think that's it, right? Okay, so let's move on.
There's one. Yeah.
Oh,
Nice to try. There was just one more that we needed to shout out, and that is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Dial it in, baby.
Luis, I can't remember. Are you still a Nazi?
Dun, 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 dun.
See, that's what. Yeah.
Oh man.
Just Luis was not previously a Nazi, or ever was, or ever likely to be.
But is
that's
now?
Just a quote from the.
Okay,
that's a quote from
okay.
the trailer.
Fuck.
Just to clarify.
Yeah, thank
But yes, fun little snippet for Indiana Jones 5. That I was very on board with. I don't know how you guys are feeling towards it, but
I'll say this. I watched, I think I've said this before, my first Indiana Jones movie was Kingdom of Crystal Skull, and I was like, ugh, I don't get it. This is bad. Why do people like it? But then for a friend of ours, Scott White's podcast, we went back and we watched a couple of the Indiana Jones movies. And honestly, they're super good. I bought into them
fun.
way late. I have so much fun with those first three movies. I thought all of them were really good for what they were at any given moment. And so if this is kind of like, okay, we're doing that thing where we're forgetting that one bad movie and just kind of wrapping it all up with a good one, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
They said they were going to. There was some sort of connection to the fourth one, wasn't there? Didn't they say that?
I mean, there might have to be because they kind of did.
Shia a girl now, you know.
They had I mean, Indy got married, so they gotta kind of figure out what happened there, because obviously he's not still with Marion unless she died. They fridged her. And then yeah, you have the Shia LaBeouf thing. I don't know, it'll be interesting. And obviously they're going back in time with this one with the de-aging technology, and they're definitely very comfortable showing more of that footage.
Looks good.
It doesn't look bad at all.
I've said this before. Disney got the lock on that shit right now. You know what I mean? Like, if Disney's de-aging you, Marvel, whatever, you know what I mean? I think for the most part, it looks really good.
I remember when it happened with Civil War and Robert Downey Jr. was a lot younger. I was like, wait, what's happening right now?
Oh yeah, that was trippy.
And then the next year we had Ant-Man and the Ant-Man, and then we saw
Kurt Russell as Ego.
Oh, Kurt Russell.
Young Kurt Russell.
And
that was a good one.
Even
too.
the same technology with later in Endgame with Tony Stark, where they like shrunk him down, where he was like sickly and thin. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that was the same. It's very believable. You know what I mean?
I honestly,
they're getting there
with
they know what they're getting
with
into.
Indiana Jones. I think you know what? I feel like the trailer didn't get me, and I didn't get it.
But the movie,
I'm here. I'm going to watch the movie because I love 1, 2, and 3. 4 not so much, but
yes,
I think this is something
I just
where
rewatched 4.
I think
yeah.
Why?
But what you got to do is you watch the originals, then you lower your expectations. And what's the new one? It can't be worse, right?
I guess
this is my proposal. Ed, this is my proposal.
Yeah.
If Luis is okay with it, we won't make you do the Fast and Furious movies. Me and Luis will watch those Fast and Furious movies. Okay, we'll do a recap of all those, and then we'll also do like an Indiana Jones things on the side just for you. You know what I mean? You don't have to do the Fast and Furious, but we'll do like a whole recap of all of Indiana Jones, just for you.
I mean, that's just
easy peasy.
Sure. Easy peasy. I feel like there's like a but.
Sorry, halfway through I realized, oh wait, Luis is probably going to watch the Indiana Jones movies too. I thought I was like taking one off him, but then I was like, no, wait a second. Oh, we're all just going to watch these movies. Me and Luis will just watch Fast and Furious. Is what I'm saying. Is I'll go to LA. We'll hold hands. We'll watch Fast and Furious for a weekend. It'll be great.
Great.
I'm just looking on Plex to see where my Indiana Jones is. So yeah, no, I feel like this is a movie that I feel like I need to see it in theater, and then I'm gonna get hyped about it. I know it's like I don't need a trailer. I'm hyped. I'm ready to see it. I feel like
we talked about our most anticipated movies recently. Go back and check out that episode. I was like, I didn't include Indy in my top 5 because obviously I have my concerns. But this one just kind of raised my excitement just a little bit, because every time you hear the Raiders of the Lost Ark march, yeah, you're just like, oh fuck yeah.
Just out of curiosity, like, what's your holdup?
What's my holdup?
Like, what are you concerned about? I'm sorry.
The digital de-aging, like how far that'll go, and then that's like again, I don't think it's like gonna be really just how it rounds out the story. Like this is one of those scenarios where they had the perfect trilogy, they tainted it,
right?
And now, like with Toy Story, I don't want to. They had the perfect ending, but they keep
going,
adding more to it. So I'm just like, okay, this really will be Harrison Ford's last go at it. So I hope to God it's good, and that's all I can hope for. But it's like I've been hurt before, and I don't want to be hurt again, kind of deal. That's it. So yeah.
Well, those are the trailers.
Those are the
do you want to do the ranking?
Quick ranking. Let's do it.
Oh,
just real quick.
Okay,
Miguel, did you get something?
No,
close to a 5.
Yeah. I mean, it's trailers, babies. I'll watch trailers all day. You know what I mean? Movies, not so much.
Hey.
Are we gonna alternate, or are we just gonna spit them out?
Let's spit them out. We've already talked about it.
Okay. Yeah, listen, real quick, top 5. I'll throw Dungeons and Dragons on there. That seems like a fun one. All right, 5.
Yeah.
Creed 3, 4. All right. Indiana Jones. Oh, we're talking about just trailers that we like.
Just
Indiana
trailers.
Jones.
This has to do with the
trailer.
trailer.
Throw that one out there.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Indiana Jones. Fast X in the Flash. Okay.
Fast X is your number 2.
Yeah, Flash number 1.
Wait, you were just shitting on Fast.
No, but at the same time,
Miguel likes a good chuckle.
No, at the same time, I'm engaged with it. You know what I mean? Like I'm connected to it. I can't just not. I'll talk shit about it, but that just means I watched it 10 times.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
This is yeah. Whatever number of the Fast movie might be, that's how many times Miguel will watch it.
Bingo.
Like, exactly. Hey, whatever. Mine is 5, Dungeons and Dragons. 4, Super Mario. 3, Guardians. 2, The Flash. 1,
Fast X.
Indy 5.
Fast X. Here we go. What's number 5, Miguel?
We were both Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Haha, consistency, baby. Dungeons and Dragons, number 5.
Hey,
let's go.
Solid number 5. Number 4, 65. Number 3, Guardians. Number 2, Mario. And number 1, The Flash.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go. Luis, after this trailer, would this have like come up on your most anticipated list?
Which one?
For The Flash, I mean.
Oh,
The Flash.
Oh, yes. Yes, it would
because
have.
he didn't include it. Miguel did. Miguel included it. It was his number 1. Yeah.
It was your number 1. Yeah. No, I would definitely include it for sure. Higher up there.
Okay. Well, there you go. I'm excited for you guys. And me, because I will see it in theaters.
Because you're a person who exists.
I'm a person.
Trailers, let's go. Boom.
Time to move on to The Last of Us. Cue the slow guitar. Dee-doo-doo-dee-doo-doo-dee. That's how the song goes. Yeah, there you go. It's The Last of Us. We are hitting basically the mid-season of The Last of Us, so it's time to do a little check-in. I know we talk about it every week, but, we wanted to formally bring it to the discussion here. So let's talk about it. Last of Us. Thoughts?
Miguel, you better lead the way on this one. This is,
Guys,
I'm passing it to you, Miguel, since I'm not feeling well. I'm gonna let you lead the convo.
I just didn't want to assume. I'm having a great time. I'm loving it so far. I think I'm going to say this every week, every episode we watch. I'm going to say the number one thing is every time they make a little change from the game, I think it services the characters. I think it services the TV show. I'm having a really good time. This is one of the biggest chapters in the game. I think most people, when they ask you about like The Last of Us, what did you like? What was one of the biggest moments? Most people will mention Henry and Sam. Luis, I know you played the game. You kind of knew this overall storyline was coming. What did you think about it going in?
I liked that we got to take some moments with Henry and Sam. When you're playing the game, you obviously have to play as Joel, and you're stuck as that character. Well, for the most part, you're playing as Joel, so you don't get the opportunity to explore these other characters. And with the show, like you said, we've been able to explore characters like Bill and Frank, and now we've been able to do the same with Henry and Sam. And you get to see how their relationship is similar, but different than Joel and Ellie's. And that's what we're getting a lot on this show. Is you're getting these relationships. Like how do relationships manage through this crisis, between Bill and Frank, between Henry and Sam, between Joel and Ellie, between Joel and oh my god, Tess, and even between Marlene and her people, even her dead brother or whatever, who's not even there anymore, and what she's doing to take about. So yeah, I mean, I liked that we got to see a little bit more of their backstory. And how, that's all I got.
Ed, what do you think? You didn't play the game. When you got to the end, and we won't spoil too much, I guess, in the beginning. We'll eventually talk about it. But when you got to the end of this episode, how did you feel about these two characters, Henry and Sam?
Of this episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean... So I feel like my mentality towards a lot of any new characters that we're introduced to, their presence is going to be very limited. In whatever capacity that might be. Like, so far it's kind of leaned towards, they died. And I'm referring to like Tess and Frank and Bill.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got it right.
You did good.
So it's just, I obviously I was dreading one of them dying. But overall, I thought it's not really a reprieve because you're still kind of like in the shit with these characters. Like the stakes are still kind of high. They're kind of hiding in an attic. So, I mean, that's tense. Obviously, you're kind of waiting for them to get to that point where they meet Joel and Ellie, but no, I mean, I really warmed to those characters, and of course, it ends very tragically. But yeah, I mean, and actually, I don't know how religiously you guys like stay tuned for the episode commentary at the end of each episode. Yeah, this one was really endearing and sweet, actually, because they were talking about
the boy, and
I had his name written down in my notes, but I left that at work. But the boy who plays Sam, right? It is Sam. Yeah. Henry's the dad, or the brother, sorry. So it was very, like, amidst all the fucking misery that the episode was, like, it actually brought about a sweet inner story, which I really loved.
That's interesting that you talk about Sam in that way, because I think the biggest change to his character in the show is that he's deaf. And so I'm assuming you're talking about in like the after show, they're talking about how the actor himself is deaf and how the crew and everyone just kind of how they all responded.
They all tried to.
And I think to the first thing I mentioned when we were talking about this was just that all the changes they make to the characters of the show from the game really elevate those moments even more so. I think it was a really great moment, a great idea to make this character deaf. Listening to the commentary a little bit, where they were talking about how the fact that the Sam character is deaf, he relies on his brother even more so. In the game, you get the sense that obviously, just like Joel and Ellie, you group up with the person or your family with a person who's like keeping you alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And how even more so that this character, as a deaf character, has to rely on his brother because he's the only one that speaks the same language. You know what I mean?
Right.
So to get through this world, I really need you. And I think that as an audience member, you just immediately latch on to them and go, yeah, I want them to survive. These people need each other.
Yeah.
I had some thoughts. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of jumping around here.
Yeah.
No, yeah, go for it.
Speaking about the death aspect, I watched it again tonight for the second time. I really thought that the sign language, you know what I mean, that was going on throughout the entire episode felt very believable. Whereas like sometimes you see an actor is doing ASL and you can tell like they practiced it, you know what I mean? But it feels maybe a little stiff or not fluid. And the note that I wrote here was John Krasinski in A Quiet Place. You know what I mean?
Strong opinions. I just thought, I don't know, it didn't even occur to me. I just thought like he knows sign language and I don't. Good job.
John Krasinski in A Quiet Place?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. So for me, I felt like the Henry character, the actor, and he said, like, I didn't know sign language before this, and I learned this. And I think it helped that they had this, like, interpreter on set, and then everyone was kind of, like, all trying to kind of, like, communicate to this young boy. Whereas I felt like in The Quiet Place, like, every time like, the big scene that I remember is, like, the end when he's, like, telling his daughter, like, I loved you, yada, yada, yada. And then he, like, screams, and then the Quiet Place aliens come and attack him or whatever. I remember thinking, this doesn't feel like John Krasinski actually knows sign language. Like he practiced it for this scene. Whereas these characters, this actor who plays Henry, I bought it immediately. I thought it was very fluid. Maybe that was just me.
No, that's a good call out. Yeah, I think those details are important because then they can really take you out of the show when it seems not lived in.
Yeah. You know what I mean? This guy, he felt very believable every time he signed to his, and it helped, I guess, that the actor who plays Sam was also deaf. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So every time he signed to him, he was signing back, and you're like, yeah. This feels believable. I don't know. You guys had a couple of questions here, or not questions, just like general topics.
We're following you, baby.
Compared to other post-apocalyptic shows.
Infected.
Yeah, not zombies, right? That producer came out or whatever, the editor today or this week was saying how like,
right.
Yeah, it was like barred from set. You couldn't say the word zombies. They were infected.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen a lot of zombie shows, or I guess you could also include movies in this as well? Do any
well, are we talking about zombies or are we talking about infected?
Oh, we're gonna get that. Okay, baby.
Because when I think of like something that I don't know comes to mind that's more on par with the tone of this show, as far as how, I mean, obviously there's the horror aspect and the clickers or whatever, but the way in which like the government and the people, in fact, handle the situations and the reality and the gravity of those situations felt a lot like that movie Contagion by Steven Soderbergh.
Oh, okay.
Where, it's something that spread so quickly and uncontrollably, and obviously the people who got infected didn't come back as monsters
or whatever.
Right, but rather died. But you know what I mean? It's like really kind of gritty, and you've got people who are just kind of out for themselves, who influence people and ultimately end up opposing the government. The government is trying to get a handle on it, and in many cases making the wrong decisions and stuff like that. You got family people who are trying to just survive with their family, so just like different variables that come into play in The Last of Us that, I don't know, that clicked with me. But no, I mean, generally speaking, I think maybe I watched one episode of The Walking Dead, but I'm not a huge zombie fan.
Yeah, that's why I try to include movies, because I could see like The Walking Dead being kind of a really big undertaking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even if you were like, I want to watch a season or two, it's still like there's like 9 of them out there. You know what I mean?
Right.
The movies that I was thinking of that kind of like, if you like this show, a couple of movies that I think would kind of fit in a similar vein would be World War Z. Which is a pretty decent zombie movie. I like that one. I go back to it every now and then. And also The Superior, 28 Days Later. I really like that one. I think that's a super solid one. But as far as Walking Dead, Luis, did you watch that show?
I watched the first couple. Yeah, I watched season 1 to like 4, I think. And then things just got really boring after that for me because they were stuck in that jail cell for a bit. And it was just like nothing was really happening. And I was just like, okay, I'm dipping. So I dipped. And I think going off this game, when it started out, actually, I was just like, oh, okay, she's got the antidote. They got to take her over, blah, blah, blah. I feel like I've seen this before. And then I had to give it some grace because it came out in 2012 or something. And we've come so far in that storytelling. I mean, those tropes weren't as heavy as they are now because people have been able to use that a lot, or people are able to read that and predict the storyline more. So playing this game and even this show, but the Bill and Frank story was really nice to change it all up. Is a lot of it feels the production's really well, the performances are really well. I think that they're doing to change the game is really great too. But this is where, for me, I think, hopefully, it starts getting really exciting. It's just this moment between Sam and his brother, and I forgot his Frank? Henry. Sorry, Sam and Henry. The moment, I mean, that shocked me. One, finding out that he was bit and infected, and then when Henry shoots himself, and the way that, like, oh, this shit is not only real, but it's very personal. Because you get this big scale of like disaster and problems, and it all feels very plot forward. Where yes, they're in trouble, and it feels orchestrated to create drama, but it really brings it home, and you really see how it affects these two characters, and how it really affects, and especially in this show, affects Ellie because she had a caretaker role similarly to what Joel is to Ellie now, and so Ellie is being like Joel with Sam, where she cut her hand. Trying to take care of him. They appropriately made him younger in this show to give Ellie more of a responsibility of protection, and to see her lose somebody. I mean, we know that. Let's just say that she's lived in an infected world for a long time, so I'm sure she's dealt with loss.
She's familiar with loss.
Yes, but to have it played in these circumstances
where the dynamic has shifted.
The dynamic has the dynamic has shifted, and there is an importance to this mission, and there's an importance to their roles, and so now you get to see how that's all affected them. And when there is this final goodbye, it's like they're going to carry this weight throughout, and now we're getting into the more relationship and personal part of the story, which I enjoyed. So now we're not dealing with all the plot and things like that we've seen.
I will say that in the game leading up to this chapter, and especially on like a replay that I had earlier last year, is Ellie, the character, is kind of super fucking annoying leading up to this chapter. And this is really the moment where she shifts. Like she's kind of forced to grow up. There's in the game, they do it by seasons. And like, you can tell like after 2 or 3 chapters, they shift forward in time. This is one of those last moments before a big time shift. Yeah. And so the very next time you see Ellie again, it's like later that fall. And you can tell there's like this shift in her way of moving throughout this world. She's not this bratty little loud kid anymore. She kind of understands that people are going to come and go. And to Ed's point, they may come and go on their own. You know what I mean? Or it's simply just because they're dead, you know? And she really kind of matures from the Henry and Sam level to the rest of the game onto the second game. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
This was one of the most pivotal moments for her growth. Sorry, Ed, you were going to say something a second ago. He hated it. He hated it.
Nah, I think it was just more to that. I'm sure, because Ellie is because of those characteristics that you just listed, Miguel, and also that, I mean, she's kind of like she's grown up in a hostile environment and therefore can be hostile. Very, like you say, kind of bratty, but not, just like a product of her environment. But that adds like the extra layer to Sam because he's like an innocent,
much younger,
much younger, but also kind of disassociated from the speaking world, and therefore doesn't have to hear some of the crazy shit that goes on and how people are kind of everything is kind of translated through Henry, and you already get the sense that Henry has had to embellish some scenarios, like when they're waiting for the old man, the doctor, to come back,
right?
And he's like, no, I'm sure he's going to come back, I'm not worried, kind of thing. It's like insisting that he wants to keep up that, despite how awful the world that they're living in is, with the threats not only from these monsters, but also just fucking other people.
Yeah. That is very big in the game as well. Like, it's not just the zombies or whatever.
Exactly.
So, I found it very impactful. I think, like, so far, this is probably my favorite episode.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is to me, I've played the game several times. Like, this is really such a pivotal chapter.
Yeah.
And I really did like that the changes that they made might have been big, like with the character being deaf now, but the core of it was really still the same. I do want to talk about, I do have some notes here that are like comparisons to the game, just to mention that in the game, Sam is not deaf, and Henry is much harder on Sam in the game. He's very much, there's a quick little scene where they go through like a toy store or something like that, and he sees like a little toy robot, and he goes to take it, and Henry, very like harshly tells him like, no, put that back. Like, the only thing we carry is the things like in our pack, like the things that we are necessities. And he's very driven on survival. And you kind of get like a little bit of sadness for the character of Sam because he doesn't get that chance to be a kid. You know what I mean?
Right.
Here, what I really appreciated was you do get that, like, I'm the older brother, I'm keeping you alive situation. But here, Henry is much softer. You can tell he's making these decisions, he's doing these things to keep his brother alive, but he's also showing a little bit more like love and empathy to him.
I think that's appropriate too, because you have this dynamic between Joel and Ellie, where Joel is more harsh on Ellie. So to have it harsh, it would be too much, and you wouldn't really learn anything. Like, really, if he was going to be harsh to Sam, he would need to be really harsh to teach Joel a lesson, not to be so harsh to Ellie. But
exactly,
I don't think that serves any purpose. And I think here it allows for some sympathy and compassion, which is a good call out.
Yeah, and
also having Henry kind of, and I don't know how this is in the game, but Henry is very honest and open about just like, I know where we need to go, but I'm not going to survive it if I go by myself. Like, I need you to get us there.
He's like, why do you need me? I need you to kill, like,
just like,
in the game, I get the sense that he's a little more like Joel, just a little, he's younger than Joel and slightly less experienced. So you could get the sense that if I was playing the game as Henry and Sam, that Henry would absolutely be like the Joel character, or if they were on their spin-off storyline, I could see them surviving. You know what I mean? Here, these vulnerabilities kind of come out a little bit more in the show, which I really, really liked. If we're talking about changes from the game, just real quick, can I list a few of them? And see what you guys think
let's
about
do
them?
it.
Okay, cool. So in the game, Luis, you played it. Ed, you didn't. I'm going to say it a lot. In the game, in the part one, you see Fedra is this government like military entity, right? Fedra is there in the Boston QZ, but as you play through the rest of the game and into part two as well, anytime you really come across like a Fedra agent or whatever, or military force, they are dead, long dead skeletons. They are just like wearing the Fedra gear. And so in the game world, I always get the sense that Fedra in Boston was really kind of like one of the last holdouts of that like kind of old world government. I thought it was an interesting choice in the show to make Fedra like recently in Kansas City, like recently expelled. Like they rebelled and they killed all of them, and now we are taking over. You know what I mean?
I was shocked when they were like, we just rebelled 10 days ago. And I was
it
like,
was
10?
just last week.
I was like, I thought you guys were in control for like months already. Like to hear that you just overturned Fedra 10 days ago with this. Yeah.
And they give a very human quality to this rebellion. You know what I mean? Especially through Kathleen. Like my brother was taken and killed. Right. And then the fact that the people on her side were super into her brother as a leader, and then he was taken. So now they're supporting her. You know what I mean? In the game, I get the sense that they're just kind of like raiders, like roaming the town.
Yeah.
They're violent, and they're not people that they're trying to even pretend to keep alive. In the game, they're very clear that anyone we see, we kill because they're take their things. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember in the game, it's honestly kind of terrifying, as that they're the first like humans you interact with that you're like, oh, I'm kind of scared of you. Like you will just kill me. So anyway, yeah, to that point, Fedra being like still kind of an entity 20 years later, it kind of makes you wonder like, okay, Boston, Kansas City just recently lost them. Are we going to see a little bit more of this like Fedra presence in the future? Because that would be a detour from the game.
It definitely adds like, because you have the Fedra, you have these rebellion, and then you still have the Fireflies, which is the other the main rebellion that we're coming across. So we're already dealing with 3 different groups, and it's like, oof, it's a lot. It's a lot of. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. You're all spread out, so you have different organizations.
Ed, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess really, I was just trying to. I get like, I don't know. You just kind of go along and accept that. Okay, there are different factions that are broken out during this, and one is likely to be as extreme as the next, including like the government-based one, and which is the Fedra, right? Right, and this one, the one thing that just kind of annoyed me a little bit is what was the woman leading this crew? Kathleen. And she's in the game?
She's not. She's the character that was just in the show. So in the game, it's just like a roaming group of like raiders. Here, they're giving them a little bit more of like a structure. You know what I mean? A rebellion.
Yeah. I feel like that at times I felt like a little shoehorned in. I can see that. If only to give some like drive to them, I guess. Because otherwise you're wondering like, why are all of these people putting forth so much effort for this woman's personal vendetta?
That was a big change that had to be justified. You're right. Like as far as feeling shoehorned.
And especially when they get into that situation at the end, which I'm sure we'll get to here in a minute, where it ultimately gets everybody killed. You're just like, cool. Thanks for that leadership. I'm glad you got revenge.
To your point earlier, it's very much of the game, or of the general story that, right, it's Joel and Ellie we're following, and everyone we meet in between is like here to leave, you know?
Right. Come and go.
And they had to kind of
I'm perfectly... Like, if anything, I'm like reassuring myself, like, I'm gonna look forward to you dying. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but I'm gonna see you die.
I will say in the game that this was a point, not only was it Ellie maturing, to me as a player, it felt like we have done 2 or 3 chapters now where the people that I think are my allies and are going to be here through the rest of the story have to leave. And it really does a good point in this part of the story to recenter it on Joel and Ellie. this is only going to be their story.
Yeah.
And when there are characters you can look forward to, like in this look ahead, we see that Joel is going to see his brother again for the first time. You kind of go like, okay, everyone else has come and gone. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's a line that Ellie has in one of the trailers, right? Like, everyone I've loved has either died or left me. And you kind of have this like last little lingering of hope of, is him and his brother going to team up and they're going to be close, or are we going to lose him too? And I don't know. We'll have to see.
I don't know.
I do want to talk about it. I had a couple last little things, then a quick question at the end. One of the big themes in part 2, which I haven't really talked about this a lot, but in season 1 of this show, it does feel like they find little snippets of part 2 that they can bring in and kind of like modify for this story. One of the things, just very briefly, Sam, his character is coloring a lot. You see him like drawing and putting things on the wall and things like that. That's something from the second game you see. There's a small little storyline of a character that you don't meet that does a lot of drawings on the walls. And it seems like they're kind of adapting that, like cool. Bringing that to part of it. Also, one of the biggest themes in part 2 is that no one is either good or bad. In most general stories, right? Like the hero's journey or whatever, you think of Luke Skywalker, he's the good guy. Darth Vader is the bad guy. And in the Last of Us world, it's the person you are following right now. You may find the reason for them to be good, but someone else may look at them and say they are the most evil person ever. And that's what we kind of got with this Henry and Kathleen storyline, where Henry ratted out Kathleen's brother to save his own brother. You know what I mean?
Right.
And this is like a theme that we're going to see, especially as part 2 comes into play, is what does it mean to be a good guy and a bad guy? And are you ever really one or the other?
Right.
The last thing I want to mention, this was a really quick one. Luis, I don't know if you remember the Ish storyline in The Last of Us Part 1. Ish was a character who you only ever learned about through notes that you picked up.
I never look at any of the notes.
Okay, so this is
never do. Are you a note looker? Like every time there's lore notes, I'll skip. I go as quickly as I could to the.
I've played it a bunch, so now it's like every time, depending on what mood I'm in, I might pick up a note and read it. And Ish is a character who you read about only through notes, and you kind of get their whole story through a few of them, and then as one of the action pieces takes place, you kind of like gather a little bit of that knowledge.
Oh, interesting.
To put it into context here for the show, when they go into the tunnels for the first time, they find this like colored wall, you remember, and then they open the door and you see like a sign on the wall that talks about rules. Ed, did you not like this?
No, I just remember watching that the whole subway underground scene had me on edge.
Oh, buddy.
Because I wasn't ready. Like, I was just like, fuck. Like,
this to me
again, in the mindset that, you know, one of these characters is about to die.
What's going to happen?
Like, yeah, and of course they go into a kid's classroom where anywhere there could be a fucking
to
clicker.
Talk about that. In the game, you meet, the first time you are introduced to the Ish character is in this same chapter. You come upon like a beach. There's a whole action thing that leads you to this, but you come upon a beach with like this beached boat, and you go on the boat and you find some crafting things, yada yada. And one of the notes is it starts with "Call me Ishmael," and it's this guy named Ish, and he's been living out on like a houseboat on the ocean during the outbreak. And he's gotten to a point where I just can't be out here anymore. I have to come to land. And as you progress through a few of the notes as they're moving through this level, you realize that there was X many years ago, this character named Ish. He was a solo, just on his own, trying to survive. He found like a family, like a mom and a dad and a kid. And he learned to kind of trust them. And they find this whole like underground tunnel that they all live in. And eventually they gather like a few more people, and it becomes this little community. And in this episode, there's a very quick shot where a little kid draws a picture, and it says "My protectors, Ish and like Daddy" or something.
I didn't see the Ish. Now that you say it, I was like, "What?" That stuck out.
That's a nod to that little itty bitty storyline in the game. In the game, in the show, he says, you know, you get a quick shot of these rules, and Joel says maybe they didn't follow the rules and they all got infected. And what you learn in the game as you progress through these tunnels is it was a whole community with adults, with children, and one person just fucked up one day and didn't shut a door properly.
Damn.
And a zombie got in, and it just kind of came in and fucked them all up. And then in the game, you have this whole like action sequence where you're killing zombies, and really who you're killing is like this whole community that lived in these tunnels
that have been infected.
When was that? When did that happen? Was that?
It's in the Sam and Henry's chapter. It's after there's like a brief moment where the truck is chasing you, and you're doing that like Crash Bandicoot run, right, where you're like running away from the truck. As like a, you know what I mean? And
not
then
something I would associate with this series, but
Ed, if I show you the level, you might understand what I'm talking about.
Fair enough.
But Joel gets knocked out, and when he comes to, they're like pulling him out of the water on this beach, and then you kind of come across this boat, and then you get into these tunnels, and it's like it's right before they do that whole sniper shootout,
which, by the way,
happens.
So cool that they're able to integrate that into the show too. That sniper face out. And I was the way that they did it was I enjoyed it a lot.
And it feels like every episode they go, and guess what? We're also going to do this little bit from the game, and it's going to feel believable in the story that we're telling.
It makes sense. You had to go out and Yeah.
No, sorry. So I don't want to ramble on, but no, Ish was definitely like a little nod to the game. He's one of those characters. And in the lore of the Last of Us, you kind of get introduced to these characters that you never ever meet or come into contact, and some of them you never get like a final conclusion. You're just kind of like given this little tidbit of information of what's going on in the world, and I really liked that. So final thoughts about the episode. The last big thing, they come into this little alleyway. There's a sniper in a house shooting at them. All while Kathleen and the group are trying to ambush our characters, and then the explosion happens and all the zombies come out. What did you guys think about this moment?
I didn't know they were going to come out that fast.
No. I thought the big guy was going to come out because obviously they've been alluding to him.
Mm-hmm.
Steroid Groot. But
he did look like Groot.
Just like I can't unsee it, like especially after that Guardians trailer. And that's also just like a terrifying notion. I didn't expect them to come swarming out like that. That was terrifying. I gotta say, there's like one moment, basically when Ellie
in the van
gets into the van. I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? Like, right when they were on the edge of the action, somehow she finds her way back into the action to get into the car, and I'm just like, just stop doing stupid shit, Ellie, please.
But, you know what I mean?
She's learning.
It's a movie or a show.
And also, like, seeing a child clicker is terrifying as well. Like, I get it, but it just, like, could have been staged a little bit more believably, because I was just like, why are we doing the stupid things, like, to get from A to B? It doesn't always have to be stupid. You could have a more justified reason, just like a lead up. I don't know. It just, like, all of a sudden, she was going back towards danger, only to climb into the car to get away from danger, and to find herself back in danger. But purely just to, I don't know, raise our blood pressure.
So not to be that guy, but in the game, you're Joel, and so your main perspective is from the house. So eventually he does get to the sniper position, and then you see this whole part of the level play out where these zombies are coming, and you're shooting them, trying to keep these people alive. And then, of course, in the TV show, they have to kind of like, you have to jump perspectives, right? You have to like, so they have to like, ooh, let's amp it up. I will say that was one of the moments that I was like, okay. Here we go. And same with like
otherwise,
when
like
a child zombie jumps at Kathleen, I was like, oh, okay, we got like super jump now. You know,
it's still very tense, and like because of the nature of these creatures and how they're infected and how they infect other people, it's very terrifying. When you see Henry and Sam under the cars and they're kicking them away, I knew right then. I was like, okay, one of them definitely got bit, and that kind of like when Tess got into that scramble. You don't have to see it, but you know there was a struggle. Sure enough, there was like a bite. Sorry, it had to be Sam. But this isn't The Last of Us and Sam.
Just The Last of Us.
Just The Last of Us. Me and Joel.
What did you think if...
Oh, yeah.
Sorry,
no, go ahead, Luis.
While we're... Oh.
No, I felt like I cut him off too. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, Miguel.
While we're talking about Sam getting bit, let's just talk about that moment.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sam gets bit. They have this whole dialogue where he reveals it to Ellie. Again, in the game, it doesn't go down that way. In the game, they all find out at the same time that he's been bit because he like bursts out of the room infected. I really loved this one-on-one personal scene where she even tries, I think someone in the commentary mentions like she tries to like witch doctor him, you know what I mean? With like her blood to heal him. And which I think was a great kind of like stepping stone to her. They mention later about how Ellie really needs her immunity to mean something.
Yeah.
I think this is the starting point of that little bit of the arc. But what did we think about the actual reveal? She's struggling. Sam has unfortunately, turned. He's an infected, and Henry has to decide what he has to do in that moment. Ed, what did you think?
Wait, what? When Henry
has to like shoot Sam.
Gotcha.
What did you think about that?
Oh man, fuck me. That was a rough moment. Very realistic. Like you think like, oh no, that's not Sam anymore. Like hopefully me
and Luis looking in on the situation go, we get that. He's infected. You got to do what you got to do. But what is a character like him?
And his first instinct, oh my god, like he shoots the floor. Also, I will say, like,
that happens in the game.
All of these characters wasting bullets left and right, man. I do not think it is, I don't know. There were so many opportune moments to get like guns and stuff, and I feel, but that's how video games go, isn't it? But yeah, so no, it was just like terrifying and frightful. The moment that you knew Sam was infected, you were just like,
it's done.
I mean, it's not going to go well. And like I said, the nature of the game, I'm assuming.
Did you expect?
I didn't think.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I knew once he got the gun, obviously he wasn't going to kill Joel. He wasn't going to kill Ellie. I assumed he was going to kill himself.
You did assume he was going to kill himself.
Interesting.
I did. I mean, it was still very, not that it took away from the moment, it was still very, like, intense and emotional. But I was, as soon as he got control of the gun, I don't know. I mean, I was still, like, in it, you know what I mean? Like, I did feel like, yes, he was going to kill himself after killing Sam. Absolutely.
They do a really good job in the show of he shoots Sam almost, you can kind of feel it as like just an instant reaction. There's an infected here. And even though he's not killed anyone, he said that, it's just this instant thing. I want to survive and this infected has to die. And they do a really good job of him kind of questioning, like, what did I just do? And then he turns and he says, Sam. And he looks back at him, and we get that one more shot of just like the blood coming out. And I just remember feeling like, oh, that's like really stamping it in Henry's mind as this is final. This is over.
Yeah.
My brother is gone. And in the show, they really kind of play out that moment just a little bit longer. In the game, it's even more abrupt. It's just like he shoots him and has a quick breath and then shoots himself. And it's very like, oh my God, like, we didn't even have time to assess what was happening, and it was done. And again, that's just kind of the theme of what we're going to see is these characters are going to come and they're going to go in whatever fashion that is.
I think Bella Ramsey did such a good job of reacting to Henry's death.
We're not talking about her enough, man. I really like her as Ellie.
Yeah.
Like, I get, I've said this before, I get that the internet was like, meh, 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 which seems very on brand for The Last of Us.
But the internet.
but and the internet, yes, the Venn diagram we are crossing. She's very good, and
she has these moments, and it's usually just like through her eyes where you get the most from her. It was like that scene where Joel beats the shit out of that guy outside the QZ, and she's got that animalistic look in her eyes, just like almost this like rabid curiosity. And then here, it's just like the utter devastation that she lost this kid, on top of this adult having a very real, very adult reaction.
When Joel is like, just give me the gun, you know what I mean? Like, Henry, give me, calm down, take a breath, give me the gun. Like, you feel that. To me, I felt that sense of like, oh my god, could you imagine being in a room with someone with a gun who is like emotionally charged?
Charged, yeah. You're like,
okay, hey man, just like
anything can happen.
You do not know. And for Joel and Ellie, it's very much like, okay, all right, he killed himself. Like, okay, but for a brief moment, it's like, it's any one of us.
It's anyone.
And
which
also like the first burst of the gunshot into the floor to where Henry kind of like, this is like, don't fuck with me, but like the almost instantaneous turn on Sam at the same time, because he knows.
Because you know, in that world,
so rough, yeah.
And that's what I mean about Henry being this like younger version of Joel. You know what I mean? Like, he's been in the world. In the game, they talk about a little bit more about how like Henry was maybe like 3 or 4 before the outbreak happened. So he essentially grows up in this world, and he knows like, yeah, you just have to do what you have to do, and how heartbreaking it is to be someone. It's the first time you realize that someone I love may be the person I kill, you know?
Yeah.
God forbid. Yeah.
I do have one last little thing about this episode. First off,
Jesus Christ.
I'm loving this show, and this is the last little bit. I'm sorry. Okay, so Ashley Johnson, she's the voice actor for Ellie in the game, and Troy Baker is the voice actor for Joel. They're both listed in the credits of the Last of Us TV show. Okay, obviously they're not playing Joel and Ellie.
Yeah.
Do we have a guess? Ed, you've never played. Luis, you have. Do we have a guess as to when we might? Two part. When we might see them, and are they going to be together on screen, or are they going to be like just like one-offs? Like, here's Ashley Johnson, here's Troy Baker.
Oh, they could be they could be coming up in the where his brother is.
In Jackson? Okay.
In Jackson, yeah.
I could see that.
Because the other set pieces I really don't see, like when Ellie, how can I say this? The restaurant and the last act. I don't really see that happening.
Okay, hang on, Luis. You just threw this in my mind, and I'll try not to spoil too much, but Troy Baker could totally play that character. You're talking about like in the restaurant with I can't remember his name.
But yes.
I could see Troy Baker playing that character, which would be kind of super traumatic, because he has this
aggressiveness to him,
very aggressiveness towards Ellie, that it's like, uh-oh, you know what I mean? My other guess, and I won't give too much away, but Luis, you played the game, although you haven't played the second one.
No.
Is
but I will.
I haven't played the game.
And so I'm going to be very quiet about this. But in the final like climax of the game, you are with the Fireflies in a hospital, and Joel kills like 100, like, you know what I mean, like NPCs. In the game, the first part you play, you go, I'm just going to kill you because I'm trying not to die. But they do a really good job in part 2 of opening the game with being like, well, one of those characters, one of those like non-people that you just killed is actually like a super important character. And I could see Troy Baker being that like one-off character.
Oh, interesting.
You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, let's see what's going on. But I do like the idea that we might see them in Jackson. It's just like casual citizens of the world that don't die or aren't really pivotal to the story, just because it's like, we're just here, you know? I'm sorry, Ed, if you had to guess, you haven't played the game, if you just had to guess, if they brought these 2 characters in, or 2 actors in.
They're going to come in and they're going to get killed. Troy Baker, especially.
We have it.
He'll be there for a minute.
All right. Well, that's hey, that's The Last of Us. I'm sorry for rambling. I'm going to tell you guys this every week. I'm going to ramble about this every time.
I love a good ramble.
I love this game. I'm playing part 2 again right now.
Oh, really? I got to pick that up too. Right now, I'm in the middle of God of War Ragnarok, so I'm finishing that up, and then I have to play Jedi Survivor, which will come out. So maybe after that, soon. But then I have to play Miles Morales before Spider-Man 2 comes out. So there is a line, but Last of Us Part 2 will be as soon as I can.
It's good to know that season 2 is going to adapt part of part 2, so you might as well wait until the lead up to that, right?
Yeah,
and it'll be prepped and ready to go. Ed, if you could, would you play the games now, or do you feel like I've watched the show and maybe that's where I want to leave it?
I don't know. No, I'd probably still want to play it for sure, just because of this is what it's all about, right? At the end of the day.
You could play that scene when in the game when Bill cooks lunch for
when he fucks Frank.
When you have to pick the right ingredients. So dee 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 dee.
Hey, Ed, if you were in the fucking apocalypse and there was a liquor store down the corner from your house that had all the wine, and 20 years later you were like, "Well, I had all the good ones. Let's just have another bottle." Now we have the fucking box of wine. I might as well drink it. You're telling me you wouldn't? The good wine what I mean?
First.
No, of course I would. I just thought it was funny because they kept presenting it like it was a fine wine.
You bougie bitch. You tell him, man. You fucking talk that talk.
We all know that the death of me in this scenario would be
there's not enough good wine.
I'd be too picky about something. Yeah, exactly.
You would be like, actually, I love mushrooms on a burger, so I'll just grill these up.
I don't want to eat a cold can of beans. Thank you. Let's find an onion somewhere.
I tell you what, thinking about all these rankings, we should do a zombie movies ranking, right? Let's do a little zombie movie run.
Let's do it.
All right, just me.
All right.
Okay.
What we're into, right? Do a quick.
You need to do a solo episode. Yeah, let's do a quick into what we're in it.
Quick into what we're into. Go for it, boys. Are we finally talking about your Hot Wheels?
I've been gone for a couple of weeks, and I've had this on the list for things I want to talk about. And I guess I'll talk about this one because I keep bringing it up. Is we have been playing. We got lucky on PlayStation. I got this game for free a few months back, and we just recently got into it because my kid loves it. Is Hot Wheels Unleashed. It's a racing game in the theme of Hot Wheels. You are racing Hot Wheels cars on Hot Wheels tracks, you guys. Imagine you were shrunk down to a Hot Wheels size and you get to drive one of them bad boys. And they've got it feels like 1,000 different tracks in different locations. So and you can start a lap that's basically just like a circle, and then you can go to the extreme where it's you're upside down the entire time. I'm having a phenomenal time playing this game. I think it's one of those that you can jump in and jump out.
Yeah.
I was recently told by a friend, Luis, although I know you have a PlayStation 5, you also have an Xbox. I was recently told that the Hot Wheels Unleashed is on Xbox Game Pass for free, and it's cross-compatible. So if you wanted to hop in, you could jump on Xbox, I could jump on PlayStation, and we could race each other.
And let me say this too, Edward.
Talk it.
Yes. Uh-oh. Am I in trouble?
No, I was going to say...
We got you Xbox, a PlayStation!
No, the Xbox Game Pass is cloud-based. It's cloud-based, so you can play on your Mac. You can play on a PC. You can play on an iPad, which I've done before. I played Halo on my iPad with Xbox Game Pass. Not sponsored. So if you wanted to play Xbox Game Pass games, you could theoretically do it on your Mac. You just need a Xbox controller.
Dude, I can give you...
But not PlayStation yet.
I can give you an Xbox controller. I can mail it to you, dude. Let's go. We can all play.
No, seriously. That's what I was doing. I was playing Halo on my Mac, and then I went and was playing it on my iPad. And that the iPad had more issues than the Mac, but the Mac was running great. So if it's on Game Pass Cloud, Ed, you have to play it contractually.
I did mention, I texted you guys that I thought all three of us would really like this game. It's a lot of fun. For me personally, it's become kind of like a Saturday morning routine. Forrest, my son, will wake us up and he'll be like, I want to play Hot Wheels. And so, okay, I'll leave my wife in bed to sleep for a little bit. We'll go out in the living room. We'll play a couple rounds and then she'll wake up and he'll be like, Mommy, I want to race you. And she'll be like, all right, give me the controller. And then next thing you know, we're kind of like, we're going back and forth. They're both terrible. I love both. They frequently, there's only 12 spaces. They frequently end in spot 11 and 12. But we have a good time. We're having a lot of fun. So
if we find a time, one day we'll Twitch.
I was way into that trailer. So, like, that's a game I would fucking play, you know what I mean?
It's a lot of fun. I got lucky. It's not on PlayStation, whatever the PlayStation Game Pass is. I got it for free a few months ago, like, luckily. And if they wanted to throw it on the Game Pass where I could get that, like, upgraded version and have all the cars, I'll be playing this shit every day. I love this game. I'm having a good time. Ed.
Yes.
You've been taking it back into the medieval times. No. Prior.
Before Christ.
Oh, Christ. Rome. Season 1.
Yeah. I just, on a whim, started watching the show. I knew it would be kind of like up my alley. And it's just 2 seasons because I guess HBO canceled it after the 2nd season.
The guy died, Ed.
Julius Caesar?
Yeah, the lead in Rome, he died. I'm pretty sure that's why they stopped making that show.
No, you're thinking of Spartacus.
No, the guy, Caesar, he died from Brutus.
Yes, but the actor did not.
All right, I'm going to stop jumping in. Take it away.
Yeah. No, because Kieran Hines is still alive and well.
Oh, he's the guy from Rome?
Yeah.
All right, my bad. No, dude, he is very much alive. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, so yeah, I started the 2nd season today. I'm like 2 episodes in. But yeah, it's a good show. I mean, before there was Game of Thrones, there was Rome, and I do kind of love saying that. I've been saying that all week, actually.
Oh, yeah.
To anybody who will listen.
Talk.
But yeah, I mean, it's like the budget is kind of lower, but I mean, it's pretty good. They have like a good array of actors. And I know everybody knows the story of Julius Caesar, Brutus, Mark Antony, Cleopatra.
Yeah,
Cleopatra, and so it's really, and I just watched Cleopatra with Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor like a couple of months back. So it is kind of like hitting all those points, just told in an HBO fashion. So plenty of like violence, incest, nudity, some kind of shitty CGI here and there. They don't have any big battles. It's kind of like season 1 Game of Thrones, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where the budget is limited. But all that said, it's solid drama. I dig it a lot. I love it. In a way. But it moves very quickly through those stories, like that story. So like it's gonna probably bow out when Mark Antony and Cleopatra die.
Okay, I don't know history. Can I ask, do they do the killing of Caesar in this show? Like,
yes.
End of season 2, they're like, die.
End of season 1, they're killing Caesar.
Oh, man. They're like, fuck your pizza.
So the main characters are really these 2 soldiers under... I didn't see what you just did there, but...
Go on.
2 soldiers who work for who are soldiers in Julius Caesar's army, and then so you kind of follow their stories that go in and out of the Julius Caesar story. You follow Mark Antony and Julius Caesar's niece and her family, Kerry Condon, who from Banshees of Inisherin.
Ooh.
The sister.
Is that why
yeah.
you're watching this?
No, not at all. I actually didn't know she was in it until I started watching it.
Nice.
But she is in it.
Second.
So, yeah, no, I mean, it's exactly what I expected it to be. No more, no less, so far, and I'll be done with it in a couple of days. I've been kind of just plowing
I feel
through
like Rome is in the era of HBO that we haven't talked about a lot yet. You know what I mean? Like that was Sopranos was going on.
Yeah, just after The Sopranos, kind of like right around
Boardwalk
a little bit before Boardwalk Empire, and around the same time that Deadwood was going on.
Mm-hmm.
We should do a Rome Deadwood. Let's do it.
Deadwood is
Deadwood's
one
good.
that's been on my list because I like me a Western. So yeah,
That's good.
ooh, hello.
Whoa! Ed almost died.
Let's do it.
So
Rome,
that's it.
Rome
really,
Westward.
I've been doing that and Poker Face, and that's it.
Damn,
which got renewed for season 2, and got got a Super Bowl ad. I was like, wow, look at you, Poker Face, growing up.
Poker Face.
It's funny. I was looking at Carrie Condon, and she was in Avengers: Infinity War.
Wait.
Oh, I already know.
No, don't say it. Let me guess.
I do know this one.
Okay, Carrie Condon. You said Infinity War?
Uh-huh.
Oh, fuck. I'm going to fuck this up hard. Hold on. Y'all talk about something else just for 5 seconds while I think about it.
Let's talk about Carrie Condon and Infinity War.
She was also in three billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri.
That makes more sense.
She was in Better Call Saul.
Yep.
She was in Rome. She has an upcoming movie in the land of Saints and Sinners, and she's in pre-production.
I hope that she blows up after this movie.
I hope so too.
The Banshees, because she's really good.
Her upcoming movie in the land of Saints and Sinners. Huh? Do you want to know?
I'm sorry. Who is she in Infinity War? I can't guess. Who is it? Ed, you tell me and see if Louise is right. No, Ed, you first.
Doesn't she play Friday? Like the voice. She does the voice of Friday.
No.
Yes.
Tell me why I was running through the movie in my head, like fast forward, like who is she?
You were like Doctor Strange looking through all the timelines.
I was like, is she the alien, like one of the children of Thanos? You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's
like the girl one. You know what I mean? I was like, is that her?
I'm losing you, sir. You know, and she's like,
oh my god. I would have told you, fuck, who's the actor? I'm not going to think about it, but I would have told you it was someone else. Damn. Shout out Carrie Condon.
Yeah, shout out. Okay,
Oscar nominated.
What are you? What else are you into?
Okay, sorry. Yeah, we won't keep this too long. I will tell you this very briefly. I'm only a couple episodes in. I didn't do it a whole bunch. I've watched the show called The Parent Test. Ed? Daddy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Are you guys watching this in your house, or are you kind of avoiding it?
I didn't know anything about it until I saw what you wrote, and then I Googled it, and I didn't go any further than that.
I get it, because you don't like reality TV shows.
And least of all do I need somebody telling me how to be a parent.
And I get that. And Kristen's kind of the same way. She likes reality TV, but she's also very much like, this seems stressful. I don't need someone telling me I'm doing it wrong.
Exactly.
And I get you.
Holy
you. And
shit.
if I was watching this show and I felt like they were telling me you're doing it wrong, I would have not watched past like the first 15 minutes. And they really set up this one guy to be like, I kind of know it all. But every time,
kid guru.
But every time they cut to him and he actually gives his opinion, he's always super like affirmative and positive to the parent that he's talking about. He's never breaking them down. I was surprised to watch the show and go, oh, everyone's kind of, even if they have like a critique, it's very much like, but I'm also this type of parent and I also fuck up on my own end. You know what I mean? Then
is it a competition series?
It's a little bit competition. The gist is just essentially saying like, this is my style of parenting. This is your style of parenting. And they give a couple of situations that they put every family through. And so in the first couple episodes, a couple of the situations, one of the big ones that really kind of derails the whole thing is we have a stranger knock at the door, and what does your kid do when someone knocks at the door? And some of the kids, they go, I need to get my mom. Some of the kids apparently go as far as they open the door and they actually get in the car with the person. You know what I mean? And so a little bit of like, I had a kid's birthday party this last weekend for my kid, a kid's classmate, and I was talking to one of the moms, and she mentioned the show, and I was like, oh yeah, I've kind of watched a little bit of that. And when she talked about the moment of like the kids opening the door and like even getting in the car with these, which is what they I'll get to it in a second. She was like, I paused the episode, I ran into my kid's room, and I immediately was like, you don't fucking ever go into and I was like, yeah, dude, like I watched that shit, and it was like, of course you know these things, but then when you hear some kid fuck up and do the thing you don't want them to do, you go, well, thank God it was like a make-believe thing.
Right.
Anyway, sorry. I don't mean to
overtalk it. It worked. It snapped somebody into play.
Yeah. So in the show, they do kind of like a little dramatic moment. Like when it comes down to the 4 families that did it, they show a few of the families, and then one of the couples goes, I just need a minute, and they fuck off for a little bit. And when they come back, they throw a thing on the screen that's like, this family asked us not to air this footage because they were so fucking sad about it. Because allegedly their kid like went all the way to the car. You know what I mean? And they were so upset about that. They were like, we don't even want to show it. We're just so upset about it. Yeah. And so it's one of those things where you kind of vicariously get to live out those situations and go, oh, I'm glad that I'm not doing this thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Ed, I think in general, you're pretty like anti-reality TV show because they mostly are trash. I get that. You know what I mean? But for the same sense, like I don't ever get the vibe that they are telling you you're doing it wrong. They're showing like 8 different families all doing it wrong. You know,
I can appreciate that, especially in today's world where it's like everywhere on social media and everything. You've got everybody giving their fucking tips of how to best raise your kids, and
Ed,
it's. Yeah,
they're only like 40-minute episodes. If you happen to, for me,
what is it on again?
I'm watching it on Hulu, so it's there somewhere.
Yeah, honestly, I'd never seen it or heard of it until you.
I never heard of it.
That's wild. It must be my algorithm because they show me that for a while they were showing me that trailer like a lot. I was like, okay, I get it. You know what I mean? That's what made me finally sit. Like, not today, but a few weeks back, I had a snow day, so I was at home, and I was like, okay, well, I'll just watch a couple of these episodes. So, Ed, if you happen to watch the first episode where they leave it kind of on a cliffhanger and they go into the second episode where they wrap it up, if you happen to watch those episodes, I would be curious to hear your thoughts, but I get it if you don't want to.
Okay.
The parent test.
The parent test.
Luis, here's my guess. What year is it? 2023? 2025, you're going to be a dad, okay? And then I'm going to check in with you, and I'm going to ask you about this, okay?
I'll tune into season 4 of Parent Test and see.
But then you'll have to start it all the way over.
The beginning.
That's what I'm talking about.
Luis, have you not watched anything?
No, I have, but I didn't really have much to say. I've been watching this show, Shrinking, on Apple TV Plus with Harrison Ford.
Oh yeah, how is that?
It's fun.
That's news.
It's fun. I mean, Harrison Ford plays his crotchety self, and Jason Segel. I love Jason Segel. I think he's really funny. It's about a therapist who kind of takes his clients in real world situations, but he's also going through a crisis himself because his wife died. So he's grieving, but he also has to be a therapist and help other people go through their problems while he has a problem. But it's fun. It really feels like a COVID show too, because it's so incestuous how every cast member is involved with everyone's lives. It was like, wait, what? How is this person connected to that person? They seem so separated. It's like, I'm not just your best friend. I'm also a real estate agent, and I'm helping this person with their real estate issues. So, but it doesn't stop us from watching it. We want to keep watching it. We want to keep seeing more episodes of it. It's entertaining. Like I said, I like Jason Segel, and it's a good cast. It's on Apple TV Plus, and they're nice. They're consumable, where they're not too long. Where they're kind of 25 minutes, and you can eat food, like eat your food, have a little more time to watch it, and move on. So, Shrinking, Apple TV Plus.
Shrinking, love it. Miguel.
You guys, I did not fill out this list today, so clearly someone did. I really appreciate someone having some thoughts they wanted to hear from me. Can I have I'm talking about 30-second tangent. Ed.
Yes.
I just watched the last week's episode of Abbott Elementary. They had a Valentine's Day episode. Okay. And the only thing, we don't have to talk about the whole show. The only thing I want to mention is one of the characters, yada yada, there's like a whole storyline involved, but one of the characters has a girlfriend, a new girlfriend, and it's like their first Valentine's Day, and he is like looking for a gift to give her. He's got like 3 or 4 that he's thinking about giving her and returning the rest of them, and he ends up getting this advice, or he has this idea that she is allergic to flowers. And to give her flowers for Valentine's Day, he wants to give her a Lego flower set where she builds the flowers herself. And I'm just like, I just need to hear your quick thoughts. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Do you think that's a good gift?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you can build it together.
I have
Does
that
she
gift
hate it?
from Ed.
Does she? Yeah.
Ed gave me and Sarah that gift.
Do you think do you think that character was super happy about that gift, Ed?
I hope so. Was she not?
She was not, and that was the whole storyline. Was like another character was like, "That's a really great gift," and then when the girl actually got it, she was like, "This isn't for my kid; it's for me." And he was like, "Oh,
Dump her.
Yeah,
Dump
it's
her.
for you."
She's not worth it.
That's kind of the vibe.
Good.
Because she also had something else she was into that another character got a different character. It's a whole storyline.
It was a very good episode. It was one of my favorite episodes in a long time.
I think a long time, Louise.
No, not a long time. Sorry.
I think every episode is really good. I know, but
this one was a really shining star. I felt like it was running on all
good.
cylinders, a specific episode.
And I would throw this episode at you and go, if you like this one, maybe watch a few of the others.
Abbott Elementary, for sure, I'd sooner watch this than The Parent.
Fair enough, Ed. Okay, all right.
But no, Abbott Elementary is definitely on my radar. Really, is all I meant to say.
It's very good, and I in that moment, I feel like maybe Luis and I were watching that episode, but for me, I was like, Ed, I have to ask Ed about this moment, like, a whole Lego flower.
I will. Like, I love giving people Lego, especially when they're receptive to it. I just think,
what about when they're not?
They have so many. Yeah, right. They will not be friends. Because they have such a vast range of, styles and different genres of Lego and themes. Like, to Luis, like I sent them some. It was a rose, I think it was, or roses and. But yeah, man, I mean, it's just so much fun, and it doesn't have to be like committal. It doesn't have to have like the silly little yellow figures. It could be just like
the way that the character was thinking about this person and going, she's allergic to flowers. Yeah, but I could still give her flowers. It was really
cute.
Great like plot.
That is cute. Yeah,
like device or whatever to make you go like, I like him, I don't like her. You know what I mean?
I mean that's great. Yeah, like eye opener to she isn't the right one kind of thing.
For him, not necessarily she's bad. They don't necessarily vibe. I'll talk about this next one next week, you guys. I don't want to take it too long.
Just tell me if you liked it.
Triangle of Sadness. I'm going to give you 2 big old thumbs, and one of them is going to be up and one of them is going to be down. Okay. I had very mixed responses. There was a lot going on in this movie, but I walked away. This was one of those, when I told you guys in my rankings of last year that Florence Pugh, Harry Styles.
Don't Worry, Darling.
Don't Worry, Darling was a movie that whether you fucking shut up, you know what I mean? I thought about that movie for days afterwards. Yeah. Triangle of Sadness, in a different way, I thought about this movie for days afterwards. So I do have things I want to talk about. I just don't want to take up too much time tonight. We've gone a little long. So it's very mixed, but I do.
I get that. I do get it. But yeah, it is. And like you said, it's nearly 3 hours, and there is a lot that goes on.
And I'll tell you, I do
very
have
distinct acts.
I have a lot to say about Bam Bam Bam. Okay.
Okay.
I'll
it's
save
a date.
it for now.
It's a date for next time because I would love to hear your thoughts.
All right, you got it.
So
and this is only one of 10 Best Picture movies that you're supposed to watch.
Christ, I've got them on the Plex. Okay, I'm gonna watch them. All right.
Tune it in next week. We got we're going to talk about Triangle of Sadness, and we have obviously Marvel Studios' introduction into Phase 5. Look out for spoilers. Yes, it is out, but we're going to talk about it next week. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. We're going to have a discussion about that, potentially have a guest
maybe
come in and talk about it with us. But until next time, hey, it's me, Luis Gonzalez, and with me has been
Miguel Sanchez
and Ed Bull.
And until next time,
I
see you.
Oh, we're saying that now? I'm sorry.
Peace.